All right, kindergarten, now that we're back from our walk outside, I gathered up some of the supplies that I'd like to use for our project. And for this project, you're going to need some paper. You're going to need some drawing and coloring supplies. You're going to need some Elmer's glue. You'll need some sticks and some of the rocks from our nature walk. So I have a bunch different sizes, different shapes. Some are different colors. And let me pan you down and show you what we're gonna make. Okay. So I'm gonna take my Elmer's glue and I'm going to take my rocks and I'm gonna put a little bit of glue on the back. Now, boys and girls, when you're using your glue, you want to use it like frosting. Don't squeeze it out too hard or you'll have a big mess, right? Now, normally I tell you just to use a little bit, but because this is a rock, put a little more than you think you need. And this is going to go outside to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue to glue some rocks, and you want to leave a space in between and try to find ones that are different. And sometimes I like to lay it down first and make sure I like it before I glue it. We have to give this some time to dry, and then once it's dry and you can pick up the paper without the rocks falling off, you'll be ready for the next step. Alright, so boys and girls, I gave my stones some time to dry, and you can see how they're on my piece of paper. And notice when I put them on my paper, I try to make them go on a straight line across. Okay, that's going to help you for the next step. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take some of your twigs and you want to create 2 legs and 2 arms on each little rock, because we're making rock people. Just take your glue, put a tiny bit of glue on your stick like that, that's all you need, and start figuring out who's gonna have really long legs and who's gonna have really short legs. And what's fun about this is you can make a really short rock with a really long leg. Do you see that there? So I'm going to continue gluing and designing. And notice what I'm doing. I like to lay it out first before I glue. That way, if I change my mind, I didn't stick it down permanently. I can always pick it up. He's reaching up for the sky. So boys and girls, I'm going to go ahead and glue everything together, and then I'll show you the next step. Alright, so boys and girls, I glued my sticks on, and I'd like to show you what they look like. And you can see how the characters are coming alive. Oh, I love it. But now we have to get their heads on. So using a pencil, you can go ahead and draw a little neck and a little circle or a triangle or a rectangle for their head. And because I'm on a camera, I'm going to use a Sharpie so you can see, and you can use a Sharpie, that's fine too if mom and dad have one in the house. You can use a marker or a crayon. So let me grab my Sharpie and I'll start drawing on their faces. So boys and girls, do you see how I kept the face very simple? And that's because I want them to look simple. I want them to be what they call primitive. Primitive means where it's very simple and basic. I do think, though, they can use some hair. So at this point, I'm just going to put in some simple lines, wiggles. You might have your own way of doing hair. And if you're the artist, you put what you're comfortable putting. Look at that. Oh, I love it. Now, there's something very important that you should put on your project, and that is called the horizon line. The horizon line is the line that you're going to put on the paper that divides the earth and the sky. So I'm just going to take my marker. Again, you might be using a crayon or a pencil. And I'm just going to go under their feet, wiggle that horizon line. Because a horizon line does not have to be straight, it can be wiggled. And look at that. Now, from here, you can go ahead and you can add some color. I have my crayons here, and I think I'm going to use natural colors, like the green, like the brown, like the copper, and I'm going to color in my picture. I think I'm going to leave my background white. And I'm just going to take a little bit of color and just color in their faces. I like this orange color for this guy's face. Take your time when you color. There's no rush, and I love this burnt red. What do they call this color? Oh, maroon. I'll definitely use maroon for this guy's face. And I think that adds a lot of character to them. So boys and girls, do you see how I was able to make a really cool three-dimensional picture using the rocks from my nature walk, the sticks, and some marker and crayons? Now, if you wanted, you can take some watercolor paint and paint the background. And I have one that I worked on that I took some more time to show you what one looks like. So boys and girls, I really hope you enjoyed today's project. If you complete the project, I'd love to see it. So have mom or dad email me at pricet@pearlriver.org. And also, if you finish and you'd like to make more nature art, click on any other grade level and you can see what they're doing as well. I miss you guys. I hope you're doing well. And tune in to all the other things on my website, like the fun stuff, the watch and wins. And I will see you next week with another fun project for us to do together. Have a great week.